I'm Jason and welcome to my Comic Haul Wednesday video. This is basically the video I bring out every week when I get my new books, and just share with you the books I've picked up and give you a little bit of a preview to the books I'll be reviewing and share you on the things I'm looking forward going into the books. We start off with a book that was out a few weeks ago. It is Batwoman issue 18. Originally I was going to drop this. This is the first book that I bought primarily for the art. Usually I like it's a couple of things that will work together. It might be the art and the story, it might be the writing and the character, it might be the story and the character, you know, it would be two things together, not just one thing that will make me keep picking up a book. But this was the first book that I read that I just loved J.H. Williams' artwork. It's like nothing else out there at the moment, and I just loved how he integrates his panels into it all, and it was just glorious. So I thought, you know what, when I heard he wasn't going to be on this book anymore, I thought, well, that's a good point for me to step off. But then, while that was the primary reason I was buying it, I did like the character, I did enjoy the story, and there was that niggling bit in my brain that was, well, how did it play out? How did it all play out in the aftermath? So I decided, I'm going to go and buy the next issue and just see if I don't feel it's as strong, I can just not get it again. But if it is good, then I've gained something. So yeah, so that's why I picked it up. I do love that cover. I think they do some really beautiful covers on this book. I think that cover's really good. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. Next up, we have from this week from DC Comics, we have Batman issue number 19, with the gatefold cover, revealing some secret shock that will probably spoil the story that's inside. I'm hoping this book's going to get back to the magic. It's been a good book. There hasn't really been a really stinker of an issue yet. But I felt the last two issues, the conclusion to the death of the family, and the last issue where he was grieving, I felt neither of them issues were as strong as previous issues. While there were good things in those issues, they just for me they weren't as strong. So I'm hoping that this is going to see Snyder get back on form and get this book back to just being that high level of excellence we came to expect. Next up from Dark Horse Comics, we have Star Wars issue number 4, and I have really been enjoying this book. I like what Brian Wood's done. I like the art choices here, in that they've just not tried to copy the characters as they are as people, but just made the comic book versions of them. I think that, and I'm really enjoying the book. It gives me my monthly Star Wars fix really well, and yeah, enjoying that one a lot. Next up, my favourite book at the moment, and the book I will read first this week, it is Saga chapter 12. This book has just been all kinds of brilliant. You've heard me say it loads of times before. Probably if you've watched a lot of reviews, you've heard everybody else say how brilliant this book is. This is just the standard at the moment. If you can write a book that is better than Saga, you will have the best book out there. Because this book is just superb. I'm loving it. I think they have a couple of months off after this one, which I don't mind. If that means we're going to keep getting Saga every year indefinitely, I'm all for them having a couple of months off. But yeah, I'm really loving this book, and definitely, if you've not been reading it, you can get the trade really cheap on Amazon or your local comic book shop, or even at your bookstore. But yeah, brilliant book. Really looking forward to reading that one. Next up, Marvel, and my Marvel pile again seems to be massive this week. We start off with Age of Ultron issue number 5, and this does seem to be thicker today. I remember it is Hitch's last issue, Brian Hitch, his last issue doing it, and I think I remember when they did originally when they announced Age of Ultron, they said that there was going to be a change of artist from issue 5, that issue 6 was going to have a different artist, and that there was a storyline reason for that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and to finding out what that reason is. But yeah, I've been enjoying it. I've just not been enjoying the art. So I won't be sad to see Hitch go, which is a shame, because I remember him back in the day being a good artist, and I don't know if they just wanted him to work too quickly and he couldn't get it to the standard he maybe would have liked, or what's going on here, but it's just not the standard of work you expect from somebody like a Brian Hitch. But the story has been really good, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to reading that one. Next up we have Avengers issue number 9. I thought issue number 8 was the issue where everything started coming together, and we started to see all these different threads come together, and the story start moving. So I'm hoping this is going to keep it going. I'm loving Dustin Weaver's art on the book. I'd not heard of this guy before, but he's just done some great work on here, and I'm definitely going to be an artist I'm going to keep an eye out for the future. Next up we have Fearless Defenders issue 3. I really like what they're doing on this book. It's been a fun book. Even to the point where they've like given a storyline explanation why there's going to be an all-female team, which I really like. But yeah, this book so far has been really good, and it's definitely the best work I've read of Colin Bunn for Marvel. So yeah, that's another one I'm looking forward to. We then got Fantastic Four. This is one that I am considering dropping. I felt, in saying that, though I am considering dropping it, I loved issue 5. I thought that was their best issue yet. So I'm hoping that, you know, that it's going to keep that, because I think the one thing all through this book, through the good and the bad issues, is that I think Fraction has a really good handle and a feel for these characters, and he knows how to write them so that they feel like those characters. It's just that he hasn't done a whole load of great stuff with them yet. Though I thought issue 5 was definitely a step in the right direction, so hopefully this will keep on in that direction, so I'm looking forward to that. Though it is one I'm looking at maybe dropping. Then we have Hawkeye, issue number 9. This, I believe, was supposed to come out a few weeks ago, and it was delayed. It's one of my favourite books at the moment, so I just love this one, and I never expected to enjoy a Hawkeye book as much as I'm enjoying this one. So yeah, I look forward to reading that. Then we have Thor God of Thunder, and I was going to call him Thor the God Butcher. He isn't, that's a different character. Thor God of Thunder, and this is the God Bomb Part 1, kicking off our next new arc, and I've been loving this. I think Esad Ribbage has been doing great guns on the art. Aaron has just been knocking it out fantastically well with the story, and yeah, I've been loving this, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we go next with our main character. But this has been a brilliant book, and definitely one of the best of the Marvel Now Ranger books. And if you're like you're looking and you're thinking, oh, I want to get into Marvel, and yeah, there's books like Hawkeye you should be checking out, there's books like Daredevil and all new X-Men, but this book is right up there with the books that you should be checking right now if you want to get into Marvel. The first trade should be coming out soon, and it's well worth trying out if you haven't read it already. Next up we have issue 6 of the Uncanny Avengers. New artist this issue, Daniel Acuna, so I'm looking forward to seeing his take on the book. And I just thought issue 4 and 5 from this book, it really grew strong, and it's getting stronger, and I think this could be a book to keep your eye on. You know, I think a lot of people dropped the book with the gap between issue 2 and 3, and that the first 2 issues weren't that great. I think there were a lot of people that jumped off the book, like I was one of them. But yeah, I think this is definitely a book well worth giving another look, because I think it is really getting strong again now, and I'm really enjoying this book and looking forward to reading that issue. And finally we have Uncanny XMen. This book is just fantastic. I loved the third issue. It just got me hooked on this series, and this issue I think they've come up with a really interesting idea that it's going to focus like on the opposite side of what we saw in All New X-Men, and I think that's a really clever idea, that it's going to be the same story but from a different perspective, and I think that's going to be a clever idea, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. So yeah, all in all, got a good pile of books for me there. I'm looking forward to reading them. I should be back with my review on Friday. Probably be like UK time, it'd be like Friday evening. My review should be up. Thank you as always for watching. I look forward to hearing what books you've picked up this week and seeing everybody else's reviews. So yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Jason Ardron. This has been Comic Haul Wednesday. Bye for now.